everyone, welcome back to my channel, the best place to help you get started building your business and brand online. And today we are talking YouTube analytics. Now this is just going to be pretty basic for beginners, and if you are somebody who you love numbers and you're analytical, this will be great. But if you are not super analytical, still very, very important. Even though it might be a little painful for you, you're going to want to stick around, because understanding and knowing what to look for when it comes to analytics is super, super important if you want to grow on YouTube faster. So if you're excited to get started, then grab your pen and paper, hit that thumbs up, and keep on watching. First things first, once you are over on your YouTube channel, you're going to want to go into YouTube Studio. Again, you can do this two different ways. I've talked about this before. One is just click on YouTube Studio right under your cover photo, or you can click on your pretty little photo up in the upper right hand corner and click on YouTube Studio. Once you're here, this is just going to give you just an overview, a little snapshot of your channel over the past 28 days. So over here on the right hand side, it'll tell you your current number of subscribers and how many you have gained in the past 28 days, and also a summary in regards to total views, watch time hours, which you're definitely going to want to pay attention to, especially if you're trying to get monetized, and then also your revenue, and it'll tell you your percentages, whether it's increased or decreased in a specific area over the past 28 days. It'll also tell you your top viewed videos in the past 48 hours. Of course, clicking on any one of those will take you directly to the video itself. And then over here on the left hand side, you'll notice in the upper right hand corner, which is very weird, and it just happened to me, and I'm like, what the heck? But I got a community strike. I got a warning, actually. I've been on YouTube since 2015. And one of my affiliate links was flagged in the last video that I did. It was a short tutorial showing people where to find their YouTube subscribers. And so my affiliate link was flagged. I did submit an appeal, so I'm waiting to kind of hear back from that, because it was for vidIQ. And to be honest with you, I mean, it's an affiliate link. They're YouTube certified, so I have no idea why I was flagged. So hopefully that won't be an issue. Scrolling down, this will show you the last video you've uploaded and a snapshot of how it's performing compared to your previous 10, like the last 10 videos you've uploaded, how it compares. And this will continue to change based on how long it's been since you've actually uploaded. So with this particular video, now that I'm going into all of this like YouTube series, I can kind of look and see, okay, based on these videos, these are ones that are outperforming some of the other ones. And if you look, the last little tutorial I did, it is performing 10 out of 10. So, you know, that's something that you might want to keep in mind and kind of see, okay, if it's getting super low views compared to the other videos that you're uploading, well, maybe this more is content you want to double down on. Just something to kind of pay attention to. Then down here, if you've posted anything, it'll tell you your last post and how it's performing. So now let's kind of dive in and go to an overview, a more in-depth overview of your analytics, which over on the left-hand side, you're simply going to click on Analytics. And again, this is a channel overview analytics for the past 28 days. If you click on this little down arrow, you can change this. I generally keep it on the last 28 days, but if you wanted to do the last 90 days or the last year, lifetime of your channel, there's all different analytics that you can pull up. I'm just gonna keep it on the last 28 days. And then again, this is real time as well. Same thing you saw in the previous over there, how many views you've gotten, top videos. And then this is something that's also kind of cool that I like about this new YouTube Studio, is it's telling you when people are popping on and watching, like when your views are coming in over the past 48 hours. And I think this is kind of cool if you're looking at, okay, when should you upload a video? So I'm noticing based on this that I start getting views pretty early in the morning, and then they kind of go up. And so if I'm looking at, okay, when I want to upload, well, I might, want to schedule and upload my content in the morning and then kind of ride the wave up as more and more people are coming on. So that's kind of something that you can pay attention to. Over here, you've got these different overview, reach, engagement, audience, and I'll break down kind of each one of those and tell you what each of them means. So if we are just on the overview tab, this is going to give you a snapshot of your overall views and how it's performing based on the previous. So typically I get between 12 to 24,000 views a month, and right now I'm at over 28,000. So this is increased. Watch time hours, this has actually increased. Subscribers, 7 more than usual, so about the same. And you know, it'll also just kind of show you these are your daily views. Okay, now if you notice like how it kind of peaks out, it's these little, you know, this little play button right here. I'm noticing that every time I upload a video is generally when it kind of like goes up and I get a little bit more views, and that's going to be typical. You should see that when you upload a little upward spike there. One little tip too, if you are trying to get your channel monetized, which you will need 4,000 watch time hours in a 365-day rolling period, so the last 365 days. So if you click and you toggle this and you click on last 365 days, and then you look at this watch time hours. So I've accumulated over 13,000 watch time hours in the past year. So you want this to be 4,000 in order to try to get your channel monetized. So that was just a quick little tip I wanted to give you as well. So again, if we scroll down, it'll also tell you your top videos based on views in the past 28 days. Okay, I need to stop saying 28 days. I feel like I've said it 50 bajillion times already. So this is something that you want to pay attention to, because these are the videos that have gotten you the most views in the past month. So of course I noticed a lot of mine, and this is very typical of my channel. And if you watched last week's video about just YouTube hacks and things that I've done to grow my channel from 0 to, you know, over 6,000, I'll leave that video down below. But this is one of the hacks that I was talking about, is taking I would look and I would do a lot of tutorials, like how to, because I know doing that, those are things that people are actually searching for. Generally, I do like shorter little tutorials, how to add questions to Facebook stories, how to add an animated GIF. So I know that these are going to get more views than most videos, which is why I now upload tutorials on Thursday, just as a way to try to grow my channel faster and drive more traffic to it. So if you haven't watched that video, you may get some nuggets out of that going to watch it. So again, this is content you could double down on and start doing more of based on views. It will also tell you your average view duration, meaning your retention. How long are people actually watching your video? So even though this video has gotten a lot of views, the retention rate, unfortunately, I don't think is very good at all. 12% is not great, okay? You really want to strive when it comes to your retention rate, 40% or above, okay? 40% or above. So this is, again, content you want to double down on. If you click on see more, it'll bring up all of the videos. I'm not going to do that right now. So I really pay attention to these. I'm constantly wanting to make sure that my numbers are up. So that's something you're going to want to keep an eye on. If we click on reach up here at the top, this is going to give you an overview of how many impressions. This is how many people, and if you hover over where it says impressions, it will tell you exactly what each of this means. So how many times your video thumbnails were shown to viewers, okay? And it says that it only includes impressions on YouTube. So if you are posting a video over on Facebook or over on Twitter and somebody sees it, it's not counting those as impressions. So just kind of keep that in mind. Impressions, click-through rate, this is your click-through rate. So if you're not familiar with what this is basically how many times, like what percentage of people saw your thumbnail, or, you know, saw your thumbnail in your video and actually clicked on it to watch it. The average on YouTube is 2 to 10%. So you definitely want to strive to get as close to 10% or more as possible. And when it comes to click-through rate, there's two things that really the click-through rate comes down to. That is your title and your thumbnail. If you want a higher click-through rate, you need a stronger thumbnail and you need a strong title. And this is something that you're going to want to continue to tweak and figure out what works best for you based on what industry you're in. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell, because on the next video, I am going to be giving you some of the tips that I've learned to create more standout thumbnails on your channel. So again, on average, mine is 7.7%. So that is, on the higher end, again, views. And this is just a graph breaking down, how many impressions that I'm getting a day. So basically I'm averaging, over 10,000, 10,000 impressions here. If you scroll down, this is just the graph, how many impressions you've had, how much, what percentage is YouTube recommending your content, and then your click-through rate. And I also pay attention to traffic sources. Very, very important. You want to pay attention to this. So I know that over the past month, 72%, right over 72% of my views are coming from people finding it when they're searching for something on YouTube. 12% is suggested. And then it goes down external. This is views from outside of YouTube. And again, you can kind of hover over these two. Scrolling down, it will give you, when it comes to external traffic, what portion, like where this traffic's coming from. So Google search, if somebody goes to Google and they're typing in something, this is my YouTube video is coming up in Google search. And then also Facebook, this is normal, Gmail, my email list. Your top playlists, these are the search terms that are coming up for YouTube. Now I'm going to show you a different place that I go to look at these here in just a second, but these are what people are typing in to find your channel. Weirdly enough, this isn't a language. 3 of these are a language, like I don't even know what language that's in. So that's kind of very interesting. And then also suggested videos. These are the top videos that are suggesting your content. And so you can check those out as well. So I kind of pay attention to that. Scrolling over, we go to engagement. And this is just watch time, average view duration. And again, this is pretty self-explanatory. Top videos as far as watch time in the past 28 days. Top videos by end screen, and I don't really pay attention to this. I do pay attention to my top playlists and what cards. And cards are basically the links that show up in the upper right hand corner that people can click on. I will generally put cards up there, but I also put extra information down in the description. So I just think it's easier so people don't go down rabbit holes. But moving on, audience. This again is telling you unique viewers, how many people have watched your content, so over 20,000, how many average views per viewer, subscribers, and then scrolling down here, this will give you a snapshot of how much watch time, whether, so I can see that the majority of the watch time are coming from people who are not subscribed to my channel. 13% from people who have subscribed. This will also tell you how many people have turned on notifications and then how many have actually turned on all notifications and enabled all of them. And it'll show you typical on YouTube. I'm in a little bit the higher percentage, so I'm constantly striving to get as many people as I can to subscribe and hit the bell, because I know if people don't hit the bell, if you don't hit the bell, you're going to be less likely to get a notification the next time that I upload. So that's something that you want to pay attention to as well. And when you're creating content, it's just making sure people know that. It'll tell you the age and gender. So 48% of my audience and views are coming from females, 51% male, which I also find interesting because I really cater to that work at home mom. So it's kind of interesting that, a larger percentage are males. And then 18 to 24 year olds, that's the dominant age of my audience. So you want to kind of pay attention to this. I'm really trying to attract more the 25 to 34 year old. So that's something, and I know why this lower demographic, and I also know why as far as the country, why the Philippines are higher than the United States. It's because of those tutorials that I do. That's why. But again, this is something you want to kind of pay attention to. And then revenue is last, and this is just telling you how much on average your videos get once you're monetized per 1,000 views. So on average, it's $15.85 I'm making per 1,000 views. Now this totally is going to differ based on video to video. So each video that you do, that CPM is going to vary, and I'll show you what I mean whenever we dive into the analytics of a particular video here in just a minute. But if you scroll down, once you're monetized, it'll give you a breakdown of your income over the past 6 months, what videos are making you the most money, and what ad types. I don't really pay attention to ad types if I'm being completely honest, but let's go back to overview, and I want to show you a couple of things that I want you to pay attention to. So when we go to views, I want you to click on, if you click on see more, this is actually going to bring up some analytics. Again, over here in the upper right hand corner, you can change the dates of that. I'm just leaving it for the past 28 days for now. But this is going to kind of give you a snapshot and a breakdown of the videos that are getting the most views on your channel, okay? And again, this is content that you're gonna wanna double down on once you start creating more videos on your channel based on how much that you've uploaded already. I can see that these are my top views. This will break down watch time hours. So if I were to click on watch time hours right here, it's going to make it to where, it's going to rank these as far as which video is getting the most watch time. So pay attention to those two. These are two things that I do pay attention to a lot, along with click-through rate. Again, 2 to 10% is average. You want to get your click-through rate as close or over 10% as you can. And so if I'm looking, let's say with a click-through rate, if I notice this, these two, this is a 10% click-through rate, very good click-through rate. If I hover over the title, it's going to show me what that video is, what the thumbnail looks like. So pay attention to this, and the higher the click-through rate, you can look at your thumbnails, kind of compare them, and then do more of the thumbnails or the type of thumbnails that are getting you the higher click-through rate. If I look down, this one has almost an 18% click-through rate, great click-through rate. However, if I scroll down here, setting goals for business, this has a 2.7, so a lower click-through rate. If I hover over this, which I thought that was a really good thumbnail, but again, if it has a lower click-through rate, this is something I want to kind of keep in mind. Do I want to tweak that thumbnail? Do I want to change it and maybe see if I can get that click-through rate a little higher? Then what I want to do is, if you click on traffic source, to be honest with you, these are the only two I really pay attention to once I click this graph. I don't really pay attention to any of those, okay? It's just a lot. It can become a lot, and I don't want you to go down too many rabbit holes. But this, when it comes to your traffic source, very, very important to pay attention to, okay? So I can see that right now the majority of my views are coming from my videos being picked up in YouTube search. And so if you click on YouTube search, it's gonna tell you all of the different keywords that people are typing in over on the left-hand side to find your content. And so if you notice, some of these keywords, this is content that you can turn around, double down on, and create more content using those particular keywords to help you grow your channel quicker. So this is not only a great place to figure out, okay, what are people searching for so I can do more of it, but maybe people are finding your videos using a specific keyword that you haven't thought about yet, and you could turn around and create more content around that particular topic, okay? So again, these are just things to keep in mind. If I click back on traffic source and I go to suggested videos, this is gonna pull up all of the videos that are suggesting your content. I know that I've gotten 104 views from this particular video suggesting mine. So Instagram, Facebook story, how to add multiple image on your story. although I talked about this in another one of my videos. If I hadn't, this could be a piece of content that I could turn around and recreate to try to get my video up and get it suggested more. So this is, again, something that you want to kind of look at. And then a lot of these I notice as well that it's my own videos that are suggesting other videos of mine. So how to make posts clickable, that's mine. Facebook story tutorial, this algorithm explained. A lot of these are my own videos suggesting, that's allowing me to turn around and get more views. But now I'm gonna click X out of here, and I want to go over to, let's look and do a breakdown of video by video, okay? So this is my most viewed video right now on my channel. I'm just gonna click on this one, and it's gonna give you a breakdown, and maybe this isn't the best one. Let me click on a different one. Let me scroll down here. Let me go to videos. And this is going to pull up, if you click on videos, it's going to pull them up in order. And then you could turn around and, let's say, this particular one, at home jobs. You can hover over analytics, click on analytics. And what this is going to do, this gray line right here that you see, this is the average views of a video that you get based on other videos that you've actually uploaded. And the blue line is how this video is performing against other videos on your channel. So you can see with this particular video, it's not really breaking through. It's pretty average for my channel after the first 59 days, or from where it is here. And then you also, again, want to pay attention to retention. This is very, very important. Where are people falling off of your videos? And so if you click on see more, it's gonna pull up the video, and it's gonna pull up down here, okay? And you want to look for common themes. Are people just totally plummeting in the beginning? One thing that I noticed previously, prior to 2018, is a lot of my retention rate was lower, and I noticed a lot of people were dropping off in the beginning, and that kind of let me know, hey, you need to tighten up and get to the video a little bit quicker. I was spending a little bit too much time on my intro. So these are things that you want to kind of pay attention to. Are people falling off at the very end? Do you see like a dramatic decline? Right here, there's not really a dramatic decline. But if there was, and I saw people plummeting, maybe that would tell me that I need a smoother transition to my call to action at the end of it. If you look at these little peaks right here, which this is kind of hard to see, but if you look at these little peaks, this is where people are actually going back and watching your videos. So what you could do is if I click right here on this little peak, this is gonna move the video to that particular spot. And I could listen to it and say, okay, well, what am I saying here? Is this a topic, or is this something that I could create another video on and go a little bit more in depth on it? So these are all things just to kind of think about. So if I X out of here, it's going to take me back. It's also going to give you real-time activity. How many views have you had on this video in the past 48 hours? If we go to reach, 3.6% click-through rate, so it's still average. I would like for it to be a little higher. I look at impressions, how many impressions has this video had versus click-through rate, and I look at the traffic sources. How are people finding this video? So browse feature, if you hover over this, it says traffic from the home page, home screen, subscription feed, also channel pages. And then 13% YouTube search. It's not even being picked up right now and suggested. So that's something, to kind of look at. And then scrolling down here, as far as YouTube search, this is going to let you know what terms people are putting into search to find this video. Very, very important. It'll also tell you external traffic. So I know that of the 6% of views that I've gotten outside of YouTube, that the majority of those are coming from Facebook, which is typical because I do have a much bigger audience on Facebook than YouTube, because I've focused on it for a lot longer. And then what videos are suggesting my content. Scrolling, looking at engagement, again, retention rate, where are people falling off? As far as the retention rate, I would recommend, from everything that I've heard, Anything like 40% or above is really good. And that's really what I'm striving for on my channel. I'm really striving to keep 50% on. So that's really what I'm striving for, and constantly trying to see, okay, what can I do to kind of make that happen or make the video better or more interesting. And then audience, it'll let you know how many subscribers you've gained from this video. This is, of course, over here since published. It'll also let you know states, like the top countries. Sometimes age and gender will come up, sometimes it won't. I'm not sure why. There's no real rhyme or reason to why this comes up for some and doesn't for others. And then of course, revenue. So this particular video is getting me a lot higher money per 1,000 views versus my channel as a whole. If you remember that my channel as a whole is like $15 and something, this one's making a lot more based on that. So if we scroll back and let's just look at another video of mine. If I go to analytics, I want to go to one of my higher viewed videos, and let's go to this one. It's an older video, still very good, still very relevant if you're focused on Facebook. But this is just in the last 28 days. I think it's probably, if I do since I uploaded it, I can change it here. So this video has gotten over almost 42,000 views since I've uploaded it. If I scroll down here, the retention is over 40%, so that's really good. I do notice a dip right here. I probably think that's because the intro, like, first of all, it's normal for some people to drop off, okay? But I do think that a lot of the times my intros were a little bit longer than they should have been. This is a real time, so I've had 91 views still on this video in the past 48 hours. This video still gets a lot of views every single month for me. And it's telling me that the majority of my views, almost 75%, is because this video was picked up and pushed out into suggested, okay? So only 12% is from search. Very, very interesting. I've gained over 2,000 subscribers just from this one video alone, watch time and revenue. And of course, again, you can break down and look at each one individual. If we scroll down, I know that the majority is suggested, but if we look at the YouTube search, I know that the majority of the people who are finding this video that's being picked up in search, that it's because they're using the term attraction marketing. So one thing I did was, knowing that, I went back and I created more videos around the term attraction marketing and used that to create more content, since that was a keyword that I was ranking for. So again, engagement, you can break this down. It'll show you audience. These are things that, again, I kind of pay attention to, and revenue. So the main analytics that you want to pay attention to, number one, is your click-through rate, okay? Make sure that you're checking that out. You're going back, you're looking at it. Strive as close to 10% or more as possible. If it's underperforming, again, that could have something to do with your title or your thumbnail. More on thumbnails on the next video. The next thing that you want to pay attention to is your retention rate, okay? You want to strive for 40% or more. If there are people falling off, are there any common themes, and what can you do to try to increase that retention rate? From there, you want to pay attention to your traffic sources. How are people finding your videos? What are the terms that people are putting in to actually find you, to discover you? Last but not least, pay attention to the videos that are getting the most views on your channel, and also the most watch time. That's also content that you really want to double down on and start creating more of. If you got some value from this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell. While you wait on the next video, be sure to check out those other two videos that are popping up, all about YouTube, how to get started, and how to grow your channel faster. That being said, I hope you have the most productive day, the most productive week, and I'll see you back here on the next one. Bye for now.